Apple II forever, making life better and better. Apple II forever and ever, bringing the rainbow to you.
Hello! I have a few words to share with you, but before we get started, can I get a show of hands? Awesome, thank you. You all have wonderful hands. You should be hand models. Thank you. I know. Thank you. So I hope you're all enjoying the pizza. I thank you all for coming to this KansasFest. This is like the 37th annual KansasFest, I think? Yours? No, it's only my 27th. Come on, I'm not that old. Come on. As Chris mentioned, the pizza tonight was brought to you by Juiced.GS, which is the quarterly Apple II magazine. And this was really the only way I could get onto the schedule, was by buying my way onto it. They rejected all my proposals. So I have a few words to share with you tonight. The theme for this evening is pizzas, pratfalls, prices, and prognostication, or also known as food, flubs, fees, and futures. So let's talk about what you're all enjoying. The reason you are here tonight is the pizza. So, okay, cool, Juiced.GS bought you pizza. However, that's not just a thing that happens. There's a reason for it. As you know, as Apple II software and hardware developers and enthusiasts, everything about the Apple II has a reason. Like, Woz was very intentional about everything that went into the Apple II. And the same is true for the pizza. This has a long lineage. Let's go back to Shareware Solutions 2, a magazine published by Joe Cohn. It predates Juiced.GS, ran in the mid to late 90s, and this is an excerpt from the spring 1998 issue. In this issue, Joe wrote about an event that had happened in his native San Francisco Bay Area. He said that several times during the past few years, Apple II programmers and developers who live in or near the San Francisco Bay Area have gathered together for informal pizza fests. And it was during this last Pizza Fest in January that Eric Shepard proclaimed that if he could devote 3 entire days to programming his Apple II GS, he would be able to complete Wolfenstein 3D. In between bites of pizza, Sheppy expressed hope that he'd be able to find the time needed so that he could debut the completed Wolf 3D program at KansasFest 1998. That did indeed happen. In fact, I believe it came out Valentine's Day in 1998. But here we have the precedent of Apple II users enjoying pizza. It was a pizza fest featuring Eric Shepard. Now, Sheppy is a name known to many of you. Not all of you have had the opportunity to meet him. He is alive and well, hasn't been at K-Fest in a few years. But to borrow a slide from my last talk last year, there was this company known as Syndicom. Many of you may know Syndicom as most recently having been owned by Tony Diaz. But it too has a long lineage. It was founded in the 90s to run forums and roundtables on Gagne, which was an online service that was not Y2K compliant. It closed December 31st, 1999. But the Apple II forum was run by Syndicom, which was founded by Tom Weishar, who then sold it to Gary Utter and to Dean Esme, who then sold it to Eric Shepard in 2000, and who then, as the head of Syndicom, used it to acquire Juiced.GS. So here we have this evolution of a tradition. We have Sheppy buys pizza, not that great. But then we have Sheppy buys Syndicom. Syndicom buys Juiced.GS. Juiced.GS buys pizza. So that's why you're all having pizza tonight. It goes back to a bunch of developers in the Bay Area getting pizza, and lo and behold, an empire was born. So that's why we're all enjoying pizza tonight. So the next theme for this evening is, as I mentioned, flubs. Mistakes were made. So who knows what this is? The inverted Jenny, right. This is a stamp that was printed on May 10th, 1918. Only one sheet of it was made, only 100 such stamps were printed, and the plane is upside down. This was a mistake. These are still highly sought after collectibles, and the most recent auction of an inverted Jenny went for $1.7 million just a few years ago. So these are highly sought after. Forrest? 4 sheets, okay. So Forrest knows something that Wikipedia doesn't. Thank you, Forrest. So I've been using the same print shop for Juiced.GS for over a decade. They do fantastic work. It is, their name is Sir Speedy in Framingham, Massachusetts. I am a big fan of the service and prices that they offer, but every now and then, nobody is perfect, mistakes are made. And so there was one issue of Juiced.GS. This was December 2013. I don't know if my sound is going to come through, but I can narrate if not.
It's infinite Juiced.GS.
So, so it just kept going. It was infinite Juiced.GS. So that was 11 years ago. More recently, 3 years ago, there was an issue of Juiced.GS that came with a floppy disk, courtesy Brutal Deluxe. Many of you got the opportunity to enjoy that. And there was one issue I found that you open up and it's the last page. And so you flip it over to the back, and it's kind of hard to read a magazine with one hand, I found. So you open it up, and there's the first page. And you open up to the middle of the magazine, and there's some blank pages. So I don't know, maybe this was like my attempt at Juiced.GS manga, that you read it right to left. I don't know. And then the blank pages are like, choose your own adventure. Just draw some panels in there. Make up your own issue. Cool. The most recent such flub was in September 2023. I very often have my friends Kristen and Tom help me stuff some issues. And as Kristen was putting one issue in the mail, she asked me, is it supposed to be upside down? So there was an actual issue that was printed that, yeah, this is the cover, and then the inside is upside down. And this was really stressful for me because I'm trying to get this out in the mail by the end of the month, and all of a sudden, like, we had 70 copies that were misprinted. The cover was on misoriented. And I ran back to the print shop, and I was like, you have to fix this. These are 70 issues that are wrong. But then I started looking at it, I was like, well, wait a minute. The cover story is about karateka. And the thing about karateka is, if you load the floppy disk upside down, it plays upside down. I was like, wait a minute. This is brilliant. This is very intentional. So we have a karateka issue of Juiced.GS that is upside down. Almost like it was intentional. We have our own inverted Jenny. It's amazing. So look at that. It is so beautiful that when I finally realized this, I brought back those 70 misprinted issues. And he said, great, we'll fix all 70 for you. And I said, no, fix 63 of them. And I have 7 left. And if anybody wants them, they're available for $5 each, which is a lot less than $1.7 million. So I have a stack of inverted Juiced.GS's, the karateka edition. If anybody wants them, they will not be reprinted. So I suppose you could go home and with a staple remover make your own, but authentic misprinted Juiced.GS's. Who knows how many more flubs there will be in the future, but enjoy them while you can. So let's talk numbers. Juiced.GS has been around since 1998. It's been, or 1996 actually. Yeah, 1996. It's its 29th year. And ever since around 2007, our subscriber base has been consistently going up, and up. And that's no exception this year, 2024. Just a week or two ago, we continued this trend of having more subscribers than last year. Since 2006, we have 11 times more subscribers than we had in 2006. Just in the last 8 years, we've doubled our subscriber base. And I think it's awesome that so many more people are finding the Apple II community and are finding ways to connect with it, whether it's podcast, Facebook, KansasFest, Discord, Slack, or Juiced.GS. And I'm really excited to be working with such a great team of writers, designers, enthusiasts who are helping create that content. I would not be able to do this on my own. So with all that support and all that enthusiasm and all this financial support as well, I have a really surprising announcement for you today. We're going to continue printing next year. This is where you clap. So next year will be our 30th year in publication, 30 consecutive years of Juiced.GS. I'm sure we're going to have some amazing articles out there. I only try to plan like one issue in advance because who knows what the future might hold. Who knows what new hardware and software is going to be debuted and need to be put on our cover. But we are going to be here. We're going to be covering it. And I'm looking forward to mailing those issues to you in the mail every 3 months. So a few more things I want. Oh, by the way, so if you've already subscribed to Juiced.GS, you're going to automatically renew. No action needed. If you want to subscribe, you can do that online or see me. So I have a few more things I want to share. And a brief interlude. I love telling stories, as you may have guessed, whether it's about pizza or Apple II or whatever. And I've read books about how to tell stories. And this is one of my favorite books about how to tell a story. It's called Storyworthy. Whether you are a storyteller or you're giving a presentation at work, in any capacity, if you are responsible for a narrative, this is a great book. Storyworthy by Matthew Dix. And one of my favorite lessons from this book is it's better to make people laugh before they cry. It hurts more that way. So let's talk about money. The last time, the current prices for Juiced.GS that were established in 2019. At that time, we decided on the price of $20 for US subscriptions, $25 for Canada, and $28 for international. Well, I really should say intercontinental, because Canada is international. So in the 5 years since then, in the United States, inflation has been 22.9% cumulative over 5 years. So those exact same prices, if they were translated into 2024 dollars, would be about $25 for US, 31 for Canadian, and 34 international, which is a lot of money. Whew. So I just want to let you know, things have gone up, including postage. So in 2019, postage was $1.30 in the US, $2.91 for Canada, $5.10 for international. Prices have gone up. So nowadays, USA is $2.04. It's gone up 57%, almost more than twice the price of inflation. Canada's gone up to $3.86, 33%, and international's gone up to $5.78, 13%. So with that in mind, we hate raising prices, but unfortunately, sometimes we do need to. And the good news is that we don't need to increase it as much as these numbers suggest we should, because we have other ways of supporting the magazine, including the other things we sell in our store. We have relationships with publishers and software developers like the ByteWorks. We have the APDA, APTA books or software in our store, and every time you buy those, that helps subsidize Juiced.GS. So for 2025, prices in the USA are going up $1 from 20 to 21. Canada prices are going up $1 from 25 to 26. And international is going up $2, $28 to 30. That's it. That's the increase. It's like 5%, so well below inflation. If this is a concern for you, you do have the opportunity to change your subscription so that it will only run this year. But if you are still opted into automatic renewal, January 1st, these are the prices that will show up on your credit card bill or your PayPal statement. So if anybody has any questions about that, let me know. Good. I don't like questions. All right. So that's what's next for Juiced.GS. Let's talk about what's next for KansasFest. I'm not on the committee, but I do have some thoughts about KansasFest, including the short term and the long term. The short term is tomorrow morning. We are doing a Krispy Kreme Ryan Suinaga Memorial Breakfast. We do Krispy Kreme every year. I'll talk more about that tomorrow morning, but I know that breakfast is very often the most skipped meal of KansasFest. So I just wanted to put this out there now that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., we will be having donuts, a nutritionally complete breakfast, and you'll have the opportunity to donate to Ryan's scholarship. And if you miss breakfast, there will be opportunities throughout the day to just drop a bill in a box or log online and make a credit card donation. Again, I'll speak more about that tomorrow morning. Now, in the long term of KansasFest, I'm sure you're all wondering, well, we've had this wonderful experience at this new venue this year. What does this mean for next year? Like what's going to happen with KansasFest 2025? I mean, if you've been watching the suggestion box in Discord, there have been some ideas. If you've been talking to the committee, I'm sure you've heard some ideas. And, usually this is when we announce the dates. What are the dates for next year? This is very often the opportunity to end one year and start looking forward to the next. But now we're thinking not only about the dates, but also the location. Like, where is KansasFest going to be next year? So the committee has given me the opportunity to exclusively share some news with you, even though I'm not on the committee. They said, since I have the mic, I can share this with you. KansasFest 2025 will happen. Oh, you know what? Punctuation is really important. I meant to say Kansas 2025 will happen. And that's all I know right now. So dates and locations still TBD, but Kansas 2025 will happen. So I look forward to seeing you all again somewhere, sometime, probably the third week of July next year. Dennis? Oh, yeah. Boom. As I said, the theme for this evening is flubs and mistakes. Mistakes were made. But KansasFest 2025 also will happen. So, thank you. Any other questions? Any other errors? Did I get it wrong in the previous slide as well? I sure did. All right. So before I make these slides available online for all time, this isn't live, right? This is going to be edited. Ah, great. Okay. 1 million. Wow, that's a lot. Peter, hi. Five people watching? 5 million people are watching. That's amazing. Okay, cool. That's all. Any other? No, cool. I'm sure the committee, they didn't tell me to say this, but I'm sure the committee would welcome your feedback, whether it's in the suggestion box in Discord or via email after the event. It is very important that they survive this event, and just like with Juiced.GS, sometimes you can only look one event at a time. So maybe bury them with your feedback after you get home and not before you even leave here, because yes. So we all have limited bandwidth. As any Apple II user knows, bandwidth is limited. But again, we all really appreciate you being here. It's been awesome seeing your faces, enjoying this beautiful weather, this event, these computers, the wonderful guest speakers. Thank you, Rich, for coming all this way. And to all the other speakers, many of you whom were speaking for the first time, many of whom I had no idea you were nervous because you nailed it. So thank you again for everybody who contributed to this event, whether it's by speaking, donating, or just showing up. So thank you very much.